Guess what we're doing today? Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool things almost every single day, and that is right, we are doing another life-size build. This is one that's been on my brain for a hot minute, and I figured, you know what? No time like the present. Can't get any lumber to expand these shelves because my $16 boards turned into $40 boards. So I figured now is the time to do this, and as everything started arriving, I got more and more excited. So, if you haven't guessed by now, we are doing a Joey Jordison life size, but not just any Joey Jordison life size, a Gods of Metal Joey Jordison life size. This is hands down my all-time favorite Joey Jordison look. Everything from the white suit and white socks, to all the bracelets on his wrist, to the mask itself. This is hands down Joey's coolest mask for a number of reasons. One, it is literally the coolest looking mask. I don't know, just something about it. It's like the perfect Joey mask for me. And not only that, but it was also used for 2 album cycles, and not just 2 album cycles, but the 2 coolest album cycles, Self-Titled and Iowa. He used this throughout Tattoo the Earth, which is hands down the coolest era of SLIPKNOT ever. So all in all, it's just the best Joey Jordison mask. So with all of that being said, we're just going to go ahead and hop on into the build. Obviously, we're going to be assembling the mannequin and doing all of the finishing work on that, but we're also going to have a little Joey Jordison mask time lapse in here as well, as I will be painting this from start to finish. That's not really anything new. I've done plenty of Gods of Metal Joeys here on the channel, but I like to stick it in there and just see how I've improved. So what do you say we go ahead and hop on into it? Let's go. Alright, so before we proceed, there are some things that we need to address. One, yes, this mannequin is not 5'3", it is 5 foot. But that's the closest thing that I can find. I have raped Google trying to find a 5'3" mannequin. Don't exist. I probably would have even settled for a 5'5" mannequin. However, they just aren't real. So yes, this thing is a little shorter than Joey. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Next up, this is going to be a little bit more work than I had initially anticipated. So outside of the fact that we're gonna have to trim the wig up and paint the mask, I'm also going to have to do some work to the mannequin itself, because if you'll notice, something about the head just doesn't look right. Obviously the head is too small for the mask and just looks a little bit goofy on there. So I am going to have to reconstruct this thing a little bit to be a little larger. That way everything kind of works out. As far as the suit goes, I'm actually really impressed with how nice the suit looks on here. I was worried that the suit was going to be a little bit too big, but after reviewing some footage of Joey around the Tattoo the Earth Gods of Metal era, you can clearly see that that suit is massive on his tiny body. So that ended up working out really well. I'm still waiting on a few other things, a few little different bracelets and stuff that I could only find overseas. But yeah, we are well on our way. You can clearly see what is going to be here and the potential that this thing has. So I'm really excited to get it finished up. We need to get the wig trimmed, we need to get the mask painted, we need to fix the head situation, and then we just have a few little finishing pieces and this thing will be good to go. I hope I was in frame for that. Alright, so a couple things. Pretty much everything for this project has come in. We've got all of his bracelets, his necklace, the wig is cut. I haven't styled it yet, and I obviously haven't painted the mask yet, but I wanted to try something first. Obviously, you guys looking at him can probably tell that something is off. He just looks a little stumpy from here up. Obviously, the mask needs to be about right there. There should be a little more head up here. The head head that's on this thing is just too small, as we talked about earlier, so I'm going to try to make a cap for this piece. Now what I'm going to be using here is just an old retired salon head. I'm going to be cutting pretty much everything from the nose up and just making sort of a cap for this piece. That way you still see some flesh tones on the forehead, but it just brings everything up and out and kind of makes it look like a regular life-sized human head instead of whatever we've got going on right here. Like, clearly this just does not look right. So that is the next project on the list. If it works, it works. Basically, we are just going for a shell here. Everything on the outside is what counts. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to hide most of the imperfections with the wig and the mask, so I'm really not too worried about what it looks like underneath of those things. I think that if we can pull off what I see in my head, it's going to equal out the size of the mannequin and everything should look good after that. So let's skin some mannequin heads. Alright, so I've got this thing cleaned up, and just to give you an idea of what I'm going for, basically just this. And I know that that looks goofy as fuck right now, but like I said, we are just building a shell. So it doesn't really matter what is hidden as long as it works. So I just wanted to show this off before I got this thing all glued down and pressed tight to the head. I'll go ahead and give you like a mock-up of what it's gonna look like with the wig and the unpainted mask on there. Once we've got this settling, I will start on the mask. We'll get the mask done, do all of the finishing touches such as wetting the wig down, and we should be good to go. I think we are finally done. This turned out to be a little bit more of a project than I had initially anticipated, but that's okay because I like to experiment with certain things like the head cap or whatever you guys want to call that thing, just trying to see if we can make stuff like that work. I think that it turned out really, really well. In fact, the only thing that I am not super happy with at this point is the wig. Obviously, it needs some work. I am going to have somebody take care of that sometime this week, but for right now, I just want to get this video out. I think that you guys understand what you're looking at, and you'll understand what you see once we do some sort of update that shows this wig all completed. But yeah, super stoked with it. I think it turned out really, really cool. It is pretty much exactly what I had envisioned in my head, and I could not be happier except for the wig. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this video. I will leave you guys with some nice up-close shots of this piece, let you see all of the detail, and that will be that. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and until next time, this has been AJ Good at the House of Masks with Joey Jordison, telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and we will see you guys later.